sunflower, as you can see here. So we'll try to do something like that. And what you will need for this painting is, well, I got 11 by 14 canvas, and I'm just using the bottle paints because it's easier for me to do it on video. I just have red, yellow, white, black, and brown. And you can use, if you're using the tube paints, you can use cad yellow, and you can use burnt umber or burnt sienna, and titanium white, crimson red. And I'm just using some brushes. I'm going to use this chiseled, this is a chiseled edge brush, and this is a filbert brush, so we may use those. And a bristle brush, that's only about 1/2 inch. It's not very big, because if your canvas is small, then you don't need a big brush. If your canvas was 16 by 20, then you'd want probably a 2-inch brush. And I'm just going to use a little liner brush here. And so we'll get started. So hopefully we'll get it to look something like that. So what I did was I just made a background. I didn't want to spend 1/2 hour showing you how to do the background. So all I did with that was I mixed some red, green with a bit of black or blue. You know, you just get a dark green. If you want to use a dark green, just get a sap green and put it on for a nice dark background. Just put it right on your canvas and let it dry. When it dries, get a piece of chalk, and I would suggest probably yellow so you can see it. Now, we're going to make the centerpiece of the sunflower, and that's round. So you can either use some kind of a top of a butter dish or a butter carton or something, you know, that's round if you want to. I'm just going to draw the circle for now. You probably do it freehand. You don't need to do that, but just put a circle in there. And that's all you have to do. So we want to draw some leaves. I should say petals. And so this is the beginning of your sunflower. So it'll be easier for us to draw it out first. Some people who are well experienced can probably just put it on there really quick. So let's just take some lines out. And we'll take a line out here, and we'll take another line out here and join it up with that one, like a little bunny rabbit's ears. And then take another line out from the bottom of that one and out, and bring your line over and join it up with that one. And then bring another line out from down here and join it up with that one. So you get all these bunny rabbit ears. How's that? And then you bring another line out and join it up. Bring another line out and join it up. Now that one's a little fat, but that's okay. And then we'll bring another line out and another one out. So you don't have to be perfectly. Just do it the way you feel comfortable. And also look up some video, some other videos, so you can see how other people paint sunflowers, and look up some pictures of sunflowers so you can see what the petals look like. And then you'll have some reference photos. Right now you're just going by what I'm doing. So it'd be nice to have some reference photos. So we might put some in between those just to make it look more full. So I'm just going to take a line off of this petal here and come out, and another line off of this one, and then make some in between. Now it's not going to be exactly like the one I did before. So just take a line off the petal, line off of this petal, and join it up. Line off of this petal, line off of this petal, join it up. Line off of this petal, this petal, this petal, this petal, this petal, this petal. Line off of this petal. And you can have as many as you want. You can have them all over the place. So that's just the beginning for you. So the next step that I'm going to show you is we are going to get the basic colors on now, and then I probably will come back in I'll probably do this in 2 or 3 steps because I don't want to rush you. So, and when I take a break, then you can work on it. So I'm just going to take my bristle brush, and I'm going to dip it in some brown, a bit of brown, and I'm going to dip it into a little bit of black. Okay, so we need really dark. So just going to tap that on there. Tap, 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 tap. There we go. So when you get the center almost finished, add more black, because we want the ends of it to be black and dark. Now, if you're using the tube paints, the expensive tube paints, the really nice ones, you can get a really nice dark color, almost black, by using burnt umber and ultramarine blue. You add two of those colors together, you get almost black. But with these two bottle paints, I find I can't get a nice black with them, so that's why I'm using black. A lot of artists don't want to use black, and I guess the reason is because it makes it too flat looking. But if you add other colors to black, it won't be too bad at all. So, I'm just coming outside that line. It doesn't have to be perfectly... There we go. So it doesn't have to be perfectly round. It's gonna go into the flowers. So now I'm going to put that brush back in water. Always put your brush back in your water when you're done painting with it, because it can dry up on you. Acrylics can be pretty cruel. They'll dry up on you and they'll ruin your brushes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some yellow, and I'm going to take a little bit of red, and I'm going to put a little bit of brown in there, or burnt umber, whatever you're using. And we'll get an underpainting for our flowers first, okay? So just fill that in there. We may need a couple of coats. That's okay. So fill that in. There we go. That's all you have to do. So use your chalk lines to guide you. And you might need a second coat, like I said, because it's pretty transparent. Okay, so just keep adding those colors to your petals. Good. If you want them a little darker, just add a little bit more of the burnt umber. And just keep filling those in. Fill them in. And we'll worry about the tops later. We'll probably put a little top on those after. So we'll just get these basic colors in first. The underpainting, as I call them. The underpainting. Now those chalk lines, they will be, they'll come off. So don't worry about those. That's why I use chalk, because you can get rid of them. And so we'll just keep mixing up our brown, burnt umber, and our yellow, and our red. And you can have deeper colors than that if you want to. So you don't worry about it being exactly like mine. I keep saying, whenever you're doing videos with me or anybody else, don't you worry about getting exactly like that person's. I know you look at a painting and you say, God, I love to be able to do it that way. And you try to get it exactly the same, and then you get disappointed. So you have to add your own touches. Just learn the techniques and then do your own thing. That's what I've learned over the years, because I used to start out first and I was trying to get exactly what I seen, and then I get disappointed because it didn't look exactly the same. Okay, so let's keep putting this paint on. Good. So keep putting the paint on, a bit of yellow, a bit of red, a bit of brown, maybe a little bit of white if you want. Just fill that in. This way we can get the shapes, and we can get the underpainting. You can get some dark shadows. There we go. That's all you have to worry about now, is getting this underpainting done. Doesn't matter if, you know, if you can see through it or not, because we'll be going over more layers. So brown and red and yellow. Too red, add more yellow. Here we go. Good. Now when I get this done, I'm going to let you guys work on that, and then we'll come back and we'll put then the next layer of paint on the petals. So this is the easy part. It's all pretty easy. It's just a matter of having patience and enjoying what you're doing. Good. Okay. So we're getting close. It's okay to go outside the lines. You know, you can shape it up. If you want to make it a little bigger, just come right out. You know, you can shape it up now whatever way you want, okay? So, because you got the basic drawing there, so now you can take it and shape it up whatever way you want. If you want it fatter or taller, skinnier, or longer. If you want to take that petal and pull it up a bit higher, you can, okay? So do whatever you want. Good. So So let's keep going. Next petal, keep it going. Make the shape that you want while you got it all drawn in there. Some more. Try and get some brown in the background, in the dark ones back here. That will make it nice and shadowy for you. Okay, and let's get some on here. Whee. There we go. Shape it up. There we go. And that might look a little funny now, but don't worry. See, when I put the yellow on, it's going to look so nice when we get the second coat on there. See, we'll get some nice colors going on there. Just get your basic coat on now, that's all, so you can shape them up the way you want them. I'm using the filbert brush for this because the filbert brush is got a nice round top on it, so it gives me a nice round edge. See, it goes right around the edge, and it gives me a nice shape to my flower. Filbert brushes are nice. Nice for flowers. Okay, we're almost done. There we go. See how nice and bright that yellow is? And that's what we're going to be putting. Turn it around so it'll be easier for you. Go right ahead. Okay, there we go. So we'll just pull in some of those nice colors. See how it's starting to brighten up? Like I said, we need a couple of coats because it's pretty transparent paint. Now you might be able to get away with probably 1 or 2 coats because you might be using, if you're using like really good tube paints, then you may not have to do this many coats, okay? I'm just using the cheaper bottle paints because it's easier for me for video. And I can get it done fast and yeah, because it's easier for me actually. So that's the only reason I use them. So you can use the tube paints and you will get even better results because the paint is thicker, more opaque. So put on some more yellow. Oh, go backwards. I forgot. There we go. Just pull it down, short strokes, pull it on, pull it on. There we go, there we go. There we go. Good. So as you can see, the more layers we put on, the brighter it gets and the thicker it gets. Like I said, you may not need to do as many coats, but I'm going to do the coats that I need just in case you do too, so you can follow along with me. So let's keep going with the flower. Now sometimes you'll notice in my videos I will say that I'll call it finished, and sometimes I'll look at it and I'll say, you know, I could add more to this, but I don't do it in a video. I'll do it after the video's over because I don't want to confuse you. I did that once or twice and confused you. You said, well, you made those changes and I don't know how you did it. So when I call it finished, you can also take your painting and play around with it until you get what you're looking for. Just because I said it's finished don't mean you have to be finished, okay? So you can play with your painting and get it really nice. Just use this as a guide, as a basis for painting. Okay, so if I call this finished at a point, I might play around with it again after, but you know, I don't want you to get bored. I want you to continue on with other things. So then, and it's nice, and I also want you to try on your own after, you know, looking at all these videos. Try on your own to get what you're looking for, because if you keep following me or everybody else, you'll never be able to pick up your own techniques, and you might be able to make up some really good ones, and then someday when you do videos, then you'll be able to come up with some new techniques and show people. But if you keep using my techniques and everybody else's, you may not be able to think of some on your own, and you might, you know, depends. It takes years, a few years to get everything and figure where everything goes. So let's just keep doing this, and I'm trying to give you some tips while I'm doing this, because everything that comes to my head, if I can tell you some tips and tricks while I'm doing this, I want to pass on as much as I can to you, okay? I don't want you to go away saying, how did you do this and how did you do that? You got any questions, you just ask me, make a comment. If you got any paintings that you want me to see, you can email them to allisonprior@yahoo.com. allisonprior@yahoo.com. And people send me their paintings. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I have them on my Facebook page. But I don't want you to give it up just because I said it's finished, okay? So if you need more work on it, you go ahead and work on it after, just by going over the same techniques again. You know, so it's basically repeating itself, and so there's no sense for me to make all these videos and repeating myself over and over. So we'll just continue on putting the layer on, and like I'm showing you, you start at the top and pull down quick strokes with 2 different colors of yellow, or 3, or whatever works for you. And if you need to put some more shadows back in there, go back in with your red, a little bit of burnt umber and crimson, and then pull them back in, pull up into the yellow then. Okay? Because you want some nice shadows. So it makes it so pretty. So we'll get the shape. So shape it up now the way you want it. And you'll be able to take your time and do some really pretty things with it, okay? As long as you got the techniques, you'll be okay. So let's keep going with this. Good. Keep working on it. Don't give up. Keep working on it. There we go. So what we'll do is we'll put some more brown and red back in. I call it brown, burnt umber, and crimson. Put some shadows in the bottom, pull them up into your yellow. There we go. So you pull down with the yellow and up with the darker colors if you need to. That's just a way that I find helps me. So if you can find a better way, or you find anything that helps you better, you just go right ahead. So I'm using my filbert brush so I can get those nice round tops. Okay, so there we go. Let's go. We're doing good. I bet you're way ahead of me. You probably got yours done by now. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Alright, let's go. See how I get that nice round top because of the filbert brush? It helps a lot. And I'm just pulling that yellow back into the underpainting. Now the underpainting is dry, by the way. So let each coat, when you do these coats, let each coat dry. And then you'll be able to add a coat on top of it. And just pull back up some of the shadows. Alright, so I'm just mixing up some red and brown and yellow just to get a little bit of a shadowy color there. I like the brown, burnt umber. Give it a nice, nice shadowy color down here. Now you probably can decide where the light is coming from too. That way you can put more shadow in certain places. So if you say that the light is shining over here on top up here, then you can make them lighter and keep these down here a little darker. How's that? I'll let you decide that. I'm just trying to get this done now as fast as I can for you. So the one petals behind can be a little bit of a darker yellow. There we go. Good. So see the more layers you put on, how it thickens up? There we go. Pull them in, pull in, pull in, pull in, pull in. Good. Good. Now, little one over here in the back. Just pulling on some color. And I'm shaping up the top and the sides. There we go. And I'm leaving some of the dark on the bottom. And then I'm going to put like this one up here, back here a little bit. Like I said, if in their background, they can be darker. Like I said, look up some pictures of sunflowers to help you, you know, be able to make up some sunflowers for yourself. Get some different types of petals, you know, whatever petals you like. Okay. So I am going to, now I'm going to highlight it once more. I'm not going to go yet. I will highlight a little bit down here. I think I forgot about this little guy. It's hiding away. A little bit on the top of that one and pulling in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add white to some parts of it. So let's pretend the sun is up here, or a light or a lamp or something is shining. And give it a little bit of a light up here on this edge. How's that? And here. And where else? Let's see. How about here? Good. Just pull down these little streaks. There we go. Good. Maybe it's bouncing off over here. Who knows? Who knows? Only we know, because it's our painting. We make the decision where we want the light to be. Maybe it's a little bit of light over here. Good. Maybe a little bit of light up here. See, that gives a nice little touch to it, doesn't it? Maybe there's a little bit of light in here. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a little bit of yellow in there instead of white. A bit of yellow just to brighten it up. So you can brighten up your petals where you want to and add more layers. Okay, so just have some fun with it. Just keep adding layers until you're happy. So, you know, I can add lots more layers to this, but I want to show you other things, okay? I could do lots and lots of layers on this one. But I'm going to show you some more things now before I move on. So I'm just adding some more layers just so you can see them on the video. But don't forget, the ones in the back will be a little darker. Alright, well, I'm going to leave that for that. And like I said, put some white on the petals. And I'm going to, let's see, what can we do now? Let's do the center right here. So take that brush again that you used to get it started. And, let's see. So clean off your brush, and now you got this brown here, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to lighten up the center a little bit. So let's dip into some brown or burnt umber or whatever. A little bit of red. And yeah, let's do that one. So just touch and put these little pretty petals on. Can you see that? So what I did over there, same I'm doing over here. So I'm just putting some of those on for you. That's where the light is, up here. So I'm just touching. There we go. Maybe I'll put a little bit of red in there. So you can put on whatever you want. I'm just putting them everywhere. You can have different colors. You don't want to distract away from the flower too much, but it's nice to see that maybe there's some trees behind there or leaves. So you can put as many on as you want. There we go. All the colors. I put some red and burnt umber together and just threw it on my brush and started touching. Touch, touch. Good. So that's that much. Touch, touch. There's just a few little leaves in the background there. You can soften up some of them if you like, just by pushing in on it. And this is a good time now to get rid of those chalk marks. So use a clean flat brush, damp, and then just take the damp brush and wipe away the chalk marks. See? See how they're disappearing? Disappear. There we go. So they'll disappear when you clean them off. As long as your brush is damp, that will take the chalk off, but it won't disturb your paint. So make sure your paint is dry when you do this, okay? Make sure your paint is all dry. You don't want to smear it. So take off all the chalk marks with a damp brush. Okay, good. Simple as pie. So now what's next is, I think we could add a few more of those little dots here to this here. And you can add some of those. Just keep adding those. Anything else you think that needs work, you know, just keep adding some more of these seeds. And then when you do that, then when you're happy with that, then you can look back at your, petals and see if it needs more highlights. So if it do, then just take out your now if you don't have a filbert brush, you can use a flat brush, okay? So I don't want you to think, oh my god, I can't do this painting. Just use a flat brush, I'll show you. So I'm just going to take some yellow again, and I will probably add some here. So you can use the same. So just use the same, use a flat brush and you'll be fine. Just pull down those little short strokes, that's all. So, you know, I think a few highlights and, oh yes, I wanted to show you one more thing. So I'm just shaping this one up a little bit here. So you can put as many layers on as you want, as long as you remember where the shadows are and where, you know, where you want the light to be and things like that. So I'm just putting that on there. So what was I going to show you? Okay, so I'm taking a liner brush, my little round liner brush, and I'm going to put some yellow on the top of that. And some yellow. And I'm going to make some little, pull these out a little bit so you make them a bit longer and give more shape. That's all. So you put these little tops on them. There we go. So you want these little tops on your petals, give more shape. You can do it that way. There we go. Here we go again. That one's a bit thick, so I might leave that one. Well, here's one over here. Here's one over here. Let's see if you can see that one. So you just take your brush and pull it out. Make a little bit of a shape there. See? So you can do that with as many of them as you want, okay? So that's that. And now I'll get this back in order. There we go, because I want you to be able to see everything. So like I say, you can highlight with a flat brush. If you don't have a filbert, just use any flat brush to do your sunflower. And do highlights wherever you want them. So go back over, you know, as many coats as you want. But make sure you still only do those streaks. See how when you do those streaks, how it keeps the underneath? So there we go. So you go over as many times as you want. Try not to get just one color. Try to get it so that you can see your shadows. Okay? And if you lose your shadows, just put them back in. Don't worry. Don't say, oh my god, I ruined my painting. You won't ruin your painting because you just go back and forth. So if you lose some of your shadow, then you just put it back in. Okay? So there we go. I think, you know, this one's a pretty short video, but I only had a little bit left to do. I mean, I could go on for another half hour or more because I could shape up the edges here. But you can do that. Okay? So you just follow all the steps that I did and then just repeat them on the flower petals if you have to brighten them up a little bit, okay? So that's basically it. So I'll leave that with you. I'll call this finished. You don't have to call it finished. You can continue working on it. And I really would love to see it when it's done, actually. If you'd like to send it to me, I would love to see it. So that's close to what we had here. Here we go. And that's that one. So I hope you enjoyed this video on sunflower.